The main advantage of Android platform is nothing but open source. Open source is a main advantage of Android platform. Main advantage of Android platform is what? Open source. Open source means what? The complete source code is exposed to the users. The complete source code is exposed to the user. The user, he can see the code and he can modify the code according to his requirement. This is the first advantage of Android. Open source, meaning the complete source code, how they develop the Android platform, that complete source code will be visible to the user. So the user can see the code and user can modify the code according to his requirement. Okay, that is a first great advantage of Android platform. There is a first great advantage of what? Android platform. Best example, let's see. There are two mobile manufacturing companies are there. One is Samsung is one mobile manufacturing company, and one more thing is Motorola is another mobile manufacturing company. There are two mobile manufacturing companies. One is Samsung is one mobile manufacturing company is one thing. Samsung is one thing, and one more thing is Sony is another company. For example, let's take there are two mobile manufacturing companies, Samsung and Sony. Okay, so internally these two devices are working. Internally, these two mobile devices are working on a same platform called Android, for example. So these two are working on a single platform called what? Android. Samsung and Sony, these two technologies working in a single platform called what? Android. A single platform called what? Android. Okay, but if you switch on the Samsung phone, if you switch on the Samsung phone, if you switch on, you will get the Samsung phone built-in applications. Okay, Samsung welcome screen you will get. Same thing if you switch on the Sony device, if you switch on, you'll get the Sony welcome screen and you'll get the Sony built-in applications you will get. See, these two are the two different manufacturing companies, right? Sony is different manufacturing company. Samsung is is a different manufacturing company, but both are internally working on an Android, right? So we had to get the same common screen we had to get in both devices in Samsung and Sony. How we are getting the different devices? How we are getting the different devices is Android is open source. Android is what? It is a open source. Samsung people, they'll modify the code according to their requirement. They'll customize the code according to their requirement. Samsung. Motorola people, they'll modify the code according to their requirement. Sony people, they'll modify the code according to their requirement. Okay, because the complete source code is exposed to the users. The complete source code is exposed to the users. The user can see the code and modify the code according to his requirement. Meaning now here user means nothing but the mobile manufacturing companies. They can see the code or they can modify the code according to their requirement. Okay, that is the first great advantage of what? Android. If it is open source, automatically, the companies is going to get the free of cost. Meaning companies don't need to pay any money for using this Android platform. Okay, this is the first advantage. First advantage is what? Open source. Second thing is nothing but see, even though it's a open source, like everything visible to you. But imagine just to write a hello world program, you had to write 1,000 lines of logic. You had to write. Will you prefer to learn Android? Will you prefer to learn Android? If, for example, if you just for printing a hello world message, you have to write a huge amount of logic, 1,000 lines of logic you have to write just for printing a hello world. So, will you prefer to learn Android? No, definitely will not prefer to learn Android, and we only will say in the market it's too complex to write the code, right? It's too complex to write the code. So, but we don't have that problem in case of Android because developing the Android applications are easier. Developing the Android applications are what? Easier. Uh, in Android, we are having a component called application framework. Application framework. What this application framework is providing is infrastructures for the application developer. Application framework is providing infrastructures for application developer. Application framework is providing the infrastructures for the application developer. It is not providing the infrastructures to the user. It is not providing infrastructure to the user, it is providing infrastructures to the developer. Application framework is providing infrastructures to the application developer. How it is providing the infrastructures is with the help of ready-made libraries. How it is providing the infrastructures is what? With the help of ready-made libraries. Everything is ready-made library. Meaning, for example, if you want to work with Wi-Fi manager. If you want to work with sensor manager. If you want to work with notification manager. If you want to work with Bluetooth manager. Like everything is a ready-made library. Everything is what? It's a ready-made libraries. As a developer, just you have to know how to use those ready-made libraries into your application. Repeat again, everything is ready-made libraries. As a developer, just you have to know how to use those ready-made libraries into your application. Okay, that is the second thing. First thing is open source. The complete source code is visible to you, and you can modify the code according to your requirement. And second thing is, we don't need to write the huge amount of logic you need to write. Everything is ready-made libraries. Just as a developer, just you have to know how to use those ready-made libraries into your application. Okay, and third thing is nothing but DVM. So we discussed already in the last class, to execute the Java code. Here also we are going to write the code using Java. We'll get the Java bytecode and we'll submit that Java bytecode. We'll submit to JVM. In case of JVM, here in Android, we are having a component called DVM. DVM is termed as what? Dalvik Virtual Machine. Okay. So this DVM is optimized. This DVM is optimized for mobile devices. This DVM is optimized for mobile devices to work on. This DVM is optimized for mobile devices to work on low power, low memory, to work on low power, low memory, and the low RAM. Low RAM. This DVM is optimized. But DVM is optimized for mobile devices, especially customized, especially designed for the mobile devices to work on low power, low memory, and the low RAM. That customized JVM. The customized JVM is nothing but what? DVM, meaning it's specially designed for the mobile devices to work on the low power, low memory, and the low RAM capacity. Okay, next. There is a library called OpenGL ES. There is a library called OpenGL ES is a library. This OpenGL ES library is used for displaying the graphics. Is used for displaying graphics. OpenGL ES is a library. OpenGL ES is a library. This OpenGL ES library is used for displaying what? Graphics. If you want to display graphics, if you want to display in Android, so we use a library called what? OpenGL ES is a library. By using this OpenGL ES library, we can display what? Graphics we can display. Okay, so one of the native library in Android is what? OpenGL ES is a library. By using this, you can display graphics you can display. And second thing is, every Android device supports a GPS. Every Android device supports what? GPS and different media formats. Every Android device supports GPS and different media formats. Different media formats. We can play different types of audio files, different types of video files. So different format of audio and video files you can play in Android, because Android supports the different media formats. As well as every Android device is having a GPS. By using that GPS, you can get the device current location you can get by using the GPS. Okay, next. Apart from these things, we are having a database. If you want to store some structured data, if you want to store in Android, if you want to store what? Some structured data, if you want to store some structured data, if you want to store, there is a database called SQLite database is a database. What is the database name? SQLite database. Every Android device is having a database called SQLite database. So by using this SQLite database, we can maintain structured data in Android. Our SQLite database is used to maintain. SQLite database is used to maintain structured data in Android. SQLite database is used to maintain what? Structured data in Android. So in Android, if you want to store some a structured data means nothing but like in a table format you want to store some data, then we use this SQLite database we use to maintain that structured data. Okay, and so for developing the Android applications, we are going to use an IDE called Android Studio is IDE. This Android Studio provides a rich development environment. This Android Studio provides what? A rich development environment for developing the Android applications. This Android Studio provides what? Rich development environment for developing the Android applications. A rich development environment, like for example, if you want to design the user interface, if you want to design, so we use a drag and drop for creating the user interface. We use what? Drag and drop for creating the UI components. Like it provides some lot of support. Android Studio is providing a lot of support. Really, it's uh, initially basically Eclipse is used for designing the applications, but now we are not using Eclipse because Eclipse is not preferred for developing the applications. So Android is officially given an ID called Android Studio for developing the Android applications. Like it is giving a lot of plugins, okay, a lot of tools for developing the Android applications. So really, it was good working with the Android Studio. Okay, so this Android Studio provides a rich development environment for developing the Android applications. The second thing is, and the last thing is nothing but Android is a product from Open Handset Alliance. Android is a product from OHA. OHA is termed as Open Handset Alliance. Open Handset Alliance, which is led by Google. OHA is termed as Open Handset Alliance, which is led by what? Which is led by Google. Which is led by Google. Android is a product from Open Handset Alliance, which is led by what? Google. See, what is this Open Handset Alliance, and what is the meaning? What is the advantage in this statement? Android is a product from Open Handset Alliance, which is led by what? Google. What is the advantage in this statement? So advantage is nothing but see, if you want to understand this statement, first of all you have to understand what is the history of Android. Okay, so basically in the year 2003, one company started for developing a mobile platform. That company name is nothing but Android. In the year 2003, one company started for developing a mobile platform. That company name is what? Android is a company name. Okay, in the year 2005, so Google company purchased this Android. In the year 2005, Google purchased this Android. At that time, Android is also having some financial crisis, and it is also in a financial crisis. So immediately they accepted for the Google proposal. So Google purchased this Android company with a huge amount of cost in the year 2005. Okay, so after that, after purchasing this Android, Google added its own features to the Android platform, like for example, Maps. So Google account, one single account for all the Google operations, a Play Store kind of thing, and notifications, push notifications. Like after purchasing this Android platform, Google added its own specific features to the Android platform. Google added what? Its own specific features to the Android platform. And finally in the year 2007, Google is having its own mobile platform called Android. In the year 2007, Google is having its own mobile platform called Android. Okay, so at that time, so one of the problem is nothing but so Google is having its own mobile platform called Android. So Google wants to release this Android platform into the market. But at that time, already there are some lot of mobile manufacturing companies are there. Or in the year 2007, there are some popular mobile platform companies are there like iOS, Apple iOS, and the Nokia Symbian is the number one platform at that time. Nokia Symbian is the number one platform at that time. Next, uh, BlackBerry. In the year 2007, I'm talking. In the year 2007. So these are the most popular platforms, and even the Microsoft Windows platform is also available in the year 2007. These are some of the popular mobile manufacturing companies. What about these companies? This Samsung, Sony, HTC, Motorola, Cellcon, Lenovo, iBalls, Asus. There are n number of devices are there. These people are struggling a lot. This Sony, Samsung, Sony, HTC. There are a lot of devices. These people are struggling a lot because they don't have their own mobile platform. In the year 2007, these are the popular mobile platforms. Nokia Symbian is the number one at that time. Okay, Nokia Symbian is the number one at that time. These are the most popular platforms in the year 2007. And so these people are struggling a lot. These people are struggling a lot because they don't have their own mobile platform. They don't have their own mobile platform. So at that time, Google announced that, boss, I have a mobile platform called Android. I have a mobile platform called what? Android. So any mobile manufacturing company like a Sony, Motorola, HTC, like any mobile manufacturing company or any mobile operator like Vodafone, Airtel. So these are the network operators, right? Any mobile manufacturing company, any mobile operator can join into this Open Handset Alliance. So Google started a community in the year 2007 called Open Handset Alliance. In the year 2007, Google started a community called Open Handset Alliance. Any mobile manufacturing company, any mobile operator can join into this Open Handset Alliance. It's open source, first of all. Any mobile manufacturing company or any mobile operator can join into this Open Handset Alliance. Whoever will join into the Open Handset Alliance, they only will get a product of what? Android. Immediately, all these people are joined into this Open Handset Alliance because these people are struggling a lot in the year 2007 because they don't have their own platform. So a lot of mobile manufacturing companies are became a part of Open Handset Alliance. Then after that, what about these companies? So Sony, Samsung, HTC and all. Okay, BlackBerry is already realized individually we cannot do anything better. Let's join into this Open Handset Alliance. So now in the BlackBerry devices, we are getting the Android platform, we are getting the BlackBerry devices. And even if it takes Symbian, even the Nokia, Microsoft deal is completed with the Nokia. I think from this December onwards, in Nokia device also we'll get this Android platform. Now there is no platform called what? Symbian platform is not available. Meaning even you can add this Nokia also you can add into Open Handset Alliance. Next, iOS and Windows. Basically, the present ratio in the market is nothing but 86% of the smartphones. Even maybe now that maybe this percentage is increased, I guess definitely. 86% of the users are using the Android phones. 86% of the users are using what? Android phones. So 12% of the users are using the iPhone. In the entire world, 86% of the users are using what? Android phones. 12% of the users are using the iPhones and 2% of the users are using the Windows phones. 2% of the users are using what? Windows phones. So now in the present industry, in the present market, we will not consider this, even this 2% also will not consider. We will not consider this 2% also we will not consider now because reason is nothing but now we are not getting any devices. Now we are not getting any devices from the Windows platform with the Windows platform, right? So basically, we'll never concern this Windows platform in the present market. Mainly, our focus is either we use Android or iOS. Okay, see what is the ratio? 86% is Android, 12% is what? 12% is what? iOS, right? Okay, 12% is iOS. So advantage of this statement is nothing but see any mobile manufacturing company or any mobile operator can join into this Open Handset Alliance community. Whoever will join into this Open Handset Alliance, they only will get a product of what? Android. They only will get a product of what? Android. See, any mobile manufacturing company, any mobile operator can join into this Open Handset Alliance. So if you're having the multiple organizations, multiple manufacturing companies, or multiple mobile operators in a single place, definitely we need a person to manage all these things, right? That person is nothing but what? Google. Google is that person. Initially, Google is the owner for Android. Then after that, Google submitted that one to Open Handset Alliance, which is led by Google only. Okay, so the advantage of this statement is nothing but, so n number of manufacturing companies or n number of mobile operators are working together for only one single product. That is nothing but what? Android. Okay, so that's why quickly we are getting the updates. So if you see here, quickly or rapidly we are getting the updates. So in case of Android applications, because there are not only one person or two persons, there are hundreds of manufacturing companies, hundreds of mobile operators are working only together for one single product. That is nothing but what? Android is a platform. Okay, sorry, clear? Okay, so this is a third statement. What is in the Open Handset Alliance? Okay, the last thing is nothing but the advantages of Android platform is nothing but, let's take the last one, reviewing all these things. Android plays a key role. Android plays a key role in Android plays a key role in IoT. So IoT is termed as Internet of Things. IoT is termed as what? Internet of Things. IoT is termed as Internet of Things. That is a definition of an IoT. What exactly this IoT concept? Have you heard earlier? Have you heard earlier what is in by this IoT? Anyone? Yeah. So IoT means it's a machine to machine communication. If one machine is communicating with other machine, that concept is called as what? IoT. It's one of the most hot topic in the present market, IoT concept. If you want to just, you can type in Google, you can find a number of articles you can find it about IoT concept. IoT is termed as what? Internet of Things. Explore the future with encryption. See, the Internet of Things, stylish Internet of Things or IoT. It is the internetworking of physical devices, vehicles also referred as connected devices and smart devices. Basically, the IoT, the exact definition of IoT means nothing but machine to machine communication is called as an IoT concept. Meaning, if one machine is communicating with other machine, that concept is called as what? The IoT concept. If you can find more articles, you can find here. Just go and read once. See, Internet of Things definition, the vast network of devices connected to the internet, including the smartphones, tablets, and almost anything with a sensor on it. Cars, okay, uh, machines in the production plants. So some example they given. Basically, briefly, if you want to know what exactly the IoT concept means is, IoT is termed as Internet of Things, which is used for machine to machine communication. If one machine is communicating with other machine, that concept is called as what? IoT concept. Let's see here, best example, let's see. Nowadays, every person is carrying one machine, right? What is that machine? Nowadays, every person is carrying one machine, every person is carrying, what is that machine? Mobile phone, right? Every person is carrying nowadays called mobile phone is carrying every person. Every person is carrying what? Mobile phone. Every person is carrying in nowadays. I hope you guys are aware that if one device is communicating with other device, it may be anything. It may be a car, it may be a bike, it may be a geyser, it may be your hot water, or it may be a fridge, or it may be a light, it may be a bike, it may be any device. So basically, device to device communication. If one device is communicating with other device, so that concept is called as what? It's a IoT concept. That kind of concept is called as what? It's a IoT concept. I mean, recently in case of if you take the Hyderabad JNT academic subjects, they included this IoT. IoT is also a part of your academics. Your graduation level, they included this IoT concepts also. They included in the academic level. They included. Okay, so yes, the scope is there. in future market, in n number of places, you'll find a requirement of interacting with the two devices. One device is fixed, that is our mobile phone. Every person will carry this device. Second thing, it may be anything. It may be a camera, it may be, a door, it may be a AC, it may be a fridge, it may be anything. Basically, device to device communication is called as what? IoT concept. Even in this IoT also, Android plays a key role. Android plays what? A key role. So why I'm placing this Android is a key role, because just now I explained the architecture, right? Uh, just to explain the architecture, one second. A machine to machine communication, every person is having a machine that is nothing but what? Mobile device. Other machine, it may be anything. It may be an AC, it may be a TV, it may be a fridge, it may be a car, it may be a bike, it may be anything. So basically, so what is the advantage in this statement? Okay, you are talking about something about the devices, device to device is communication is called as IoT concepts and all. But what is the advantage for Android now here? Advantage is nothing but, see, slowly if IoT is become popular, then all the places you can find the device, you can find different devices. For opening a door, one device. To start a bike, you can find one device. Like for each and everything, you're going to get the built-in Android platform, you'll get in different places nowadays, right? Okay, built-in Android platform you get. The advantage of for the Android developer in this statement is nothing but, see, one device is communicating with other device, it may be anything, it may be a car, it may be a bike, it may be anything, but this device is what? It is a fixed, right? So here, even the Android plays a key role in the IoT concepts, device to device communication, because these devices directly cannot go and cannot operate, right? So for example, TV is there. Simply I'll open my application, I'll choose a YouTube channel, I'll choose which channel I want to see in the internet. That's it. So TV is also going to be operate in your Android application only. So no need to configure any separate remote, uh, what do you call? So you know to remove that paper, and you know to give some paper, you know to write the paper later. Okay? Understand? Hey, wait. Hey, wait, just. A single device can communicate with a TV or a computer, or it may be a bike, it may be a car, it may be anything. The device can communicate with any other device, the device can communicate. Okay? So that's why even the IoT also, Android plays a key role in IoT. Android plays a key role in IoT concepts also. Okay? Next. These are the these are some of the these are some of the advantages of what? IoT. Like this, there are some other advantages also available. So just a few of the Android advantages are given here. Okay. So for understanding the more about this IoT, just to give the more information about this IoT, because I have a great experience with the IoT, because from the last 3.5 years, I'm working for a healthcare client. I'm working for a healthcare client, especially in the healthcare sector. There are huge amount of the huge changes you're going to get in the healthcare in the coming days. Okay, I'll show you one device. I'll show you, for demonstrating that IoT concept. Just I'm looking that one second. This is one device for IoT example. Smart beacons present relevant information to your device based on the context of where you are. Now in Android and iOS 7, your device scans for any nearby beacons in the background as you move around. And when you want info about something you're near, it's ready to swipe on your notification screen. So if you take out your phone as you pass a new restaurant, you can see their lunch specials or menu reviews. Since your phone knows that you just arrived at the table with the red beacon, the menu will be ready when you pick up your phone. So if you're in a hurry, you can send your order straight to the kitchen. You can have beacons at home too. So if your context is the kitchen,
and you're near the fridge, your shopping list will be ready and waiting when you look at your phone. And then when you walk by the beacon in the dairy aisle, your phone can give you a reminder to make sure you don't forget to pick up milk. And because the range awareness for beacons is sensitive down to a few inches, it can tell what you're closest to, or what product you pick up. So when you look at your phone, it'll already show product information, or let you know if your size is in stock, or let you see what other colors are available. And then you can order it right from your phone. And if you've been at the restaurant for a while, your phone will be ready if you want to order another drink or pay the check with the push of a button. Your phone is always with you. Smart beacons give it some context.
This is one example. This is one example for the IoT concept. This is one example for the IoT. We call as a beacons, which is used to get, in coming days. In coming days, you can find in n number of places. You can find these beacons. You can find in the different places. Okay, and even in my project also, I work with few medical devices. I told you, right, from the last 3.5 years, I'm working for a healthcare client. I'm working. So even I design the protocols and I'm communicating different medical device. I'm communicating. I'll show you a few of the devices. This is one device.
How to use Bluetooth pulse oximeter. Press pulse oximeter. Press start. Message displayed on the app. To insert finger in the pulse oximeter, prick your finger with the lancet. Insert finger as shown. To activate the glucometer device, insert the glucometer strip. The strip with drop of blood icon will begin to flash. Insert the blood drop onto the strip.
Another device called weighing scale.
Press the power button to get your reading. The reading will automatically be saved onto the device. Remove the glucometer strip. The glucometer screen will go blank. Press the glucose tab. Press start. Select connect.
See here, these are the different medical devices. This is one device called pulse oximeter. This is another device called weighing scale. This is another device called glucometer. These are the different medical devices. In my project, I worked these medical devices. I worked. That's why I told that statement. In the coming days, especially in the healthcare sector, you can find lot of changes you're going to see in the healthcare sector in the coming days. Okay. So basically, the advantage of here Android platform is nothing but in IoT. Definitely, you'll get a requirement of communicating with the different hardware devices. How you'll communicate? With the help of our Android applications or applications, mobile applications will communicate. The different devices will communicate. Okay. So I hope you got the clarity, right? You got the clarity about what exactly is IoT. If one device is communicating with other device, that concept is called as IoT. In coming days, you can find a lot of places you can find these IoT devices. If you want to communicate with that devices, if you want to communicate, okay, we'll get a requirement of developing some applications for communicating the devices. So we know that already majority of the people are using the Android devices in the market. Okay, so the scope of Android is increasing a lot day by day. Day by day, it is increasing to different platforms. Like initially, it's only for mobile phones. Then after that, it is only for tab. Then after that, they introduced tablets. They introduced phones and tablets. And then after that, they introduced Android TVs, Android desktop, Android wearable devices. Now Android automobiles in different platforms. This Android is available, and the day by day scope is also increasing a lot. Okay, so this is about the Android futures. This is about what Android futures. Okay, so any queries in these futures? Let me know if you have any queries in this Android futures. You don't have any features. You don't have any queries, right? Okay, fine. So up to now we discussed what? We discussed two topics we discussed. The first day session we discussed what is The first day class we discussed about this. What is Android? We discussed. Then after that we discussed the Android features concept we discussed in the today's session. Okay, I'll show you my course content. I'll show you. Okay, so what are the topics we are going to discuss in our course content? Okay, and briefly I'll explain the concepts. I'll explain you briefly. Okay, IoT, it's not a separate concept. It's not a separate coding and all. Basically, with the help of our Android applications and with some Bluetooth protocols, for which device you want to communicate, that particular device has to give some API to you. Then you can communicate with the device. You can communicate. Like for example, uh, I want to communicate with the Panasonic AC. I want to communicate. For example, that Panasonic AC people has to give some API for communicating with that one. Then only you can communicate, right? Then only you can write the code to communicate that one. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll show you my codes content. I'll show you. Okay, what are the topics we are going to cover in the Android?